Hey guys, how you doing? It's NShadow here with baby Daisy, and Jen's in the background,
Hello.
but is camera shy. So a lot of people have been asking for more vlog-like content. Oh, that's their hand. No. A lot of people have been asking for more like vlog-like content. This one's not really a story or anything funny, so I don't know how well this will do. But it was something that I wanted to talk about, and I like to cover like a lot more topics in general. As much as I can on here, especially because over the next few days I'm not going to be streaming. I have not been doing very well, unfortunately. Anxiety-wise, I've barely been able to like get up and function for a normal day. Let me make sure we get Daisy in the shot so you can appreciate her while I talk. So I haven't been able to really just do anything really. I've had to take like a ton of medication throughout the day that I usually wouldn't need, like as needed, Xanax and stuff, just to make it through each day until Tuesday when I can finally get my ECT done again. And until then, I'm just like, trying to get by, but can't stream. I'm at Jen's house, so I don't have, my streaming equipment and everything, but I wouldn't be able to stream in the first place anyway. I'm pretty much like kind of bottoming out, but getting by. I know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel because I'm able to get to that ECT appointment that we'll be able to make for Tuesday, and that'll finally set me straight. If you're new to the channel or anything, the ECT is electroconvulsive therapy that I go for usually every like 2 to 3 weeks. But this time it's been a little bit longer, like nearly a month since I've been able to get the treatment, because I needed blood work and EKG and all this stuff, a physical. And they may or may not have told me about all of this, but I forgot. But I blame the ECT because it causes memory loss in the first place. So yeah, I got screwed because I needed all that done, and I had to wait on doctors to set up an appointment, all that kind of stuff. When I finally got it done, it's the weekend now, and they don't take patients over the weekend because they're not open. So yeah, basically what I wanted to get into was like streamer-viewer relationship, kind of just like communication between streamers and their audiences, as well as like YouTubers and their audiences. Obviously, we're on YouTube for this here, but as you know, I am primarily a Twitch streamer. Mostly just upload videos and stuff on the side for YouTube. I'd love to do more content for YouTube like this, and I'm really happy with the response that we got so far. Sorry that I look like a mess. Like I said, I've been out of it for a little while. Have to shave. Didn't put in contacts. Anyway, it would be nice to do more stuff like this. So there was a big thing that happened at TwitchCon where one of the members of Juice, which is DM Brandon's clan, Dust, who was an old friend of mine, who this is completely unexpected what happened with him. If you haven't seen it, it's been covered by so many different streamers and YouTubers and just like online personalities. He basically went on a panel and spoke about how he feels like he admitted to having a god complex and said that he feels like he is genuinely just like a lot better than all of his viewers, and that he doesn't want to have any sort of personal connections or relationships with any of the viewers because he doesn't feel like they can or should be able to relate to him because of this god complex and the fact that he said that he straight up thinks he's better than them. It was quite a shocking thing to hear. Quite a shocking thing to hear, and anyone admit is the big thing, because I think that the person that was sitting right next to him through all that was DM Brandon. DM Brandon, as many of you know, I have a very long history with. He was my old best friend as I was a kid. He was kind of like a mentor to me and stuff. And I was kind of molded in the same way that Dust was by DM Brandon's influence, with that whole kind of God complex thing, where it was all about just feeling like you were the most important person in the room at all times, and like what your opinion was God, and things like that. Now, in terms of thinking that you're like better than anyone else, you know, in a competitive gaming standpoint, that's completely valid for feeling that you're better than people in the game. Like in Smite and Duel, you know, I genuinely feel like I'm better than like maybe like, you know, 90% of the people that play the game mode, because I've, you know, really gotten to a point where I've mastered it a lot. Maybe not as much these days as back in my heyday, but yeah, things like that. That's not so surprising. What's more surprising is saying that you feel that you're better than, you know, your viewers as people, as a person, and that just set off so many alarms for so many people and made, you know, so many people feel uncomfortable and just disgusted by it. And I gotta say, I was not at all surprised to hear it by someone involved with DM Brandon. I was surprised that it happened with Dust specifically. If anyone, I would think that DM Brandon himself would be the one saying this, because I know that he's the one thinking it. Like, I've been with him for so many years, and like I said, I was kind of molded in the same way that Dust was, joined Juice at a very young age, or founded Juice at a very young age, and that kind of mentality was just something that was very easily spread throughout the group. And I think the way that it transitioned into the stream and YouTube environments for them was just really toxic and just not healthy. And I think that happens with a lot of content creators that get popular. You know, I think the higher up you go on the scale, the more you lose sight of, you know, yourself as a human being and just your overall place in the world. And it's such a silly thing too, because Dust is such a small scale streamer. He averages like 40 viewers or something. Like I'm a small scale streamer in my own, you know, like I average like maybe 200 or maybe like 150 to 200 viewers. And I am a small scale streamer. Imagine, you know, averaging like 40 viewers and having that mentality. It is quite strange. So yeah, that was something. But yeah, I think, like I said, it happens the more that you end up in these scenarios where you're surrounded by people that have that kind of mentality. And I think that's why that, like I said, like, you know, I don't mean to harp on the DM Brandon thing too much, but I think that's really where a lot of that comes from. Someone like that who does have that kind of commanding influence and that kind of, he has the following where you would imagine someone like that would get taken that far away with it. Though to say, you know, like, and with my experience with him in the past, like it wasn't something that came from his popularity. That was just something deeply centered in him. But yeah, so I think it's spread. I think Dust is getting a lot more hate than he should be, because I don't think it's his fault that he ended up thinking like that. He's still relatively a kid, and like I said, I think that he got just, you know, kind of put into a bad way without realizing it by joining Juice, by having that kind of influence, you know, just in his daily life, and somebody that, especially by being recognized so much by somebody like DM Brandon, that he was such a big part of his life. So yeah, that's my take on that particular situation. But I wanted to talk more about just, you know, how I think streamers and YouTubers should think of their audiences in general. You know, at least in my own perspective. Like I said, outside of in-game and as a competitor, I don't think of myself as better than anyone. I do have like some problems with levels of intelligence. I think this is something that a lot of people kind of suffer with, where, you know, you kind of look down on people of lesser intelligence. Like it's a lot easier to single out the people that you feel like are just, you know, putting out like kind of dumb opinions and being like, well, my opinion probably matters a lot more than this person's, because they are just, you know, spouting some sort of garbage or nonsense. And I guess that's kind of a whole other discussion. But just looking at the average person and saying, like, does this person matter as much as me? I mean, that should be an obvious yes in any sort of context. And for myself as a streamer, you know, I like to think of what I'm doing on Twitch and on YouTube to a lesser extent, unfortunately, because I can't have as much one-on-one interaction. That's why, of course, if you just watch YouTube, I would, you know, highly encourage that you do check out the stream whenever you can. I know it's inconvenient for people because it's live, and, you know, you might just not be able to catch up or catch on to the stream times and stuff like that. But you know, it's such a unique experience. It's something that has done so much for me throughout my life, being able to have that kind of one-on-one connection with so many people. You know, a lot of people like they'll put their chats into like sub mode and things like that. And there's different motivations for that. I think it's important to realize that some people put their chats into sub mode because they're so large that they have such an influx of viewers that they just can't give everyone the time of day. It's like literally impossible. So they put sub mode on so that they can limit the pool of people that they have to interact with, just so that it's possible that they actually can. And that I understand for sure. Then of course you also have other people that just put their chats into sub mode and stuff like that, so that they encourage more people to give them money. And I've always thought of that as pretty scummy. I never want to have to do that. The only times I ever like putting my chat in sub mode are if there are like sub specific giveaways, and even those I really don't like doing that much. I try to do like half and half, like some for everybody, some for sub only, shit like that. But yeah, I think Twitch, the beauty of Twitch and the irony of Dust voicing that exact point at TwitchCon was just what made it blow up as much as it did. Having the comment that you think you're better than your viewer base and that they're not deserving of your time or your one-on-one kind of relationship, I think that's so anti-Twitch. Like, if somebody ever had actually voiced that, I don't think they would ever be invited to a Twitch panel, because the whole point of Twitch is the connectivity between the streamer and the viewers. And I think that's what so many people go to Twitch for, that kind of harmony and that kind of togetherness that it allows for. And I think that's such an, honestly, I know, Twitch gets a lot of shit because there's so many shitters on it, so many just terrible trolls and people that look to harass and tear people down and just, do all sorts of nonsense. But for as many, bad seeds as there are, there's so many people that you can actually make, real connections with through Twitch, whether it's as a streamer with their viewers or, with as a viewer with other viewers, just kind of, finding people that match up with your personality and match up with your interests, things like that. So I think Twitch ends up being a really beautiful platform for stuff like that. So it was really unfortunate to see a lot of people, most people were disagreeing with the stuff that Dust said there, but a lot of people were also agreeing. A lot of people, meaning like maybe thousands, whereas like tens or hundreds of thousands were heavily against it. Still upsetting to see anyone just be able to justify that kind of mindset, because yeah, I think that's really the beauty of Twitch and what makes it such a special platform, and something that I've always wanted to be involved in. Even if I'm always even if I get to be like one of the biggest Smash Ultimate competitors, which is what my whole goal is, like I would never want to lose the influence that I have on Twitch, because that's just something that is so special to me, being able to have that connectivity with you guys, being able to get to know your names, and it's hard to get to know or to remember every facet of every person that I meet, even if they're subs, even if it's somebody that's given a lot of time to the stream and stuff, especially with my ECT memory loss stuff, like that really sucks. So that's always the worst feeling, when it's somebody that I should know really well, and but obviously that's outside circumstances. But yeah, I guess the point that I'm trying to make is just I think we should think more about how much Twitch gives us, and make more use of those tools, and just try to appreciate more the kind of platform that Twitch gives us, and just the kind of relationships that it fosters between streamers and viewers, viewers and streamers, and just viewers with other viewers alike. So yeah, more than anything, I think hopefully a lot of good comes out of the conversations that are being had now, based on such a terrible comment that Dust made. Again, I think more than anything that we shouldn't harp on Dust, but think about where his mentality is coming from. Like the people like DM Brendan that kind of do just project that persona, like I'm the shit and nobody else matters, kind of thing. And yeah, so that's really my takeaway from all of it. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and subscribe obviously if you're enjoying stuff like that. Leave some comments. The only thing I have trouble with comments is because of my depression and my anxiety. Sometimes I don't get to comments very often, because when there's any kind of negativity, even if it's like small time negativity, or sometimes I'll get like some just like very clear harassment, like I won't be able to handle it that well, just because of the depression and the kind of place that I'm at right now. But I'm always trying to be as interactive as I can, and you know, if I really like a comment, I'll make sure to like leave a love on it or something, or reply if it's something that I feel, you know, I can reply to, things like that. So definitely feel free to leave comments. I always read them, whether I'm able to get back to them or not. It might just take me a little while to muster the strength to get through comments, and you know, kind of just wade through the negativity to get to anything that's really relevant or meaningful, or even complimentary. And I thank you guys so much for leaving those types of comments. It means a lot to me, and it always keeps me going. So yeah, end of the day, I think Twitch is a pretty great platform, and I think that it's something we shouldn't take for granted. I hope that you guys, you know, make the most out of it, and that you really enjoy, you know, what you're doing with it. Whether you're a streamer trying to just, you know, cater to your own kind of fan base. I know there's so many streamers out there that have just like their own small little platforms, and they're, you know, they're just fine with that. They're happy with. Obviously, nobody's gonna say no to having a bigger fan base and getting more money out of it, but there's so many people I know that just get like maybe like 10 viewers, and they're just so happy just chilling with those people, and you know, making a fun thing out of it and just connecting. And I think, you know, connection is what Twitch is all about, and I'd like to make sure that that's what my YouTube channel is about as well, to the best of my ability. So like I said, definitely feel free to reach out and talk more in the comments, as my health is, you know, waning at the moment, but hopefully about to turn around. We'll see on Tuesday. We'll see with the right kind of medications and things, how it'll all work out. But yeah, I'm aiming to be able to bring the same sort of connectivity to YouTube. So yeah, feel free to reach out, and I love you guys. Thanks for everything, all the sort of support you've given me, and just all the time. So thank you. Here's Daisy to end. What are you, sleeping? That's very, very cute. You want to say anything? Real quick? No?